hands up, behind our back, lay down on the ground. I mean, guns drawn, helicopter with the light on us, everything you see in the movies. My name's Sean Abram. I moved to Germany in 2012. It's going on 10 years in May. Let's be real, I never wanted to move to Germany. Yeah, let's be 100% real about this. It wasn't until my friend invited me to Berlin that I fell in love. And I always thought I would end up in the UK, in London probably, because I had closer ties there. But Berlin won in the end, so I moved to Berlin, which happens to be kind of in Germany. Having grown up in LA, you get very conditioned and from a young age learn about rejection. So there's always trying to fit into this cookie cutter mode that you see with a lot of our artists. And for the first time as a black artist, as a black man, I could come and make the music I wanted to make. And whether that was rock or hip hop or opera or country, Berlin offered you that space to create without having a thumb holding you down. And that was something that was very important to me. My grandma always asked, why Germany? After all this, like you've been to the UK, you traveled everywhere. And, but it was Berlin. Berlin that I fell in love with, the 24-hour lifestyle, the fact that things are hustle and bustle, moving just like New York, but on a smaller scale. It was perfect for me.
So what are some of the things that you didn't like about Berlin, or you still don't?
I mean, the weather. I'm a California baby, so I mean, below zero, I mean, come on, let's be honest, below, or like 10 and below is not for me. Yeah, it's pretty hard. 6 months out of the year, BS, not into it, so. Yeah. Techno was something I did not listen to before I came to Berlin. And my friend, I hadn't moved here already, and my friend asked me like, hey, okay, we go to see this guy, beingblack, and he plays on Sunday, and we have guest list, and I was like, okay, I didn't know what it was. So we walked in and people were naked and people were, I mean, giving way to the body's desires. And I had never seen anything like that. And then the beat was like boom, 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 boom. And I was like, well, okay, you know, We go backstage, Ben gives me his hand, but I was in such shock because people were like up on boxes dancing, people were going at it. You know, and then my friend was like, oh, hey, lick your finger and put it in here. And I was like, I'm good, I just need tequila. No, come on, bro, come on, do this. And I was like, you ask me again and I'm out. And I didn't realize where I was at that time. You know, like the most famous club in Europe, it's world renowned and all this, but that was something, that's one story that is okay for the camera. So on December 29th, I was in Wrocław, in German Breslau, Poland. I was visiting, at that time, it was a friend of mine, and we had met on tour. We had had some drinks in a rock club, and there was a hip hop club across, yeah? He had went before and took our jackets and put them down, and so when I went down to ask, like I needed my asthma inhaler, so I asked the guy behind at the coat check, bro, can I get my asthma inhaler? No one else has come down. I can tell you what's in my jacket pocket. So the guy said, you need the number. So I went to look for my friend. I couldn't find him. So when I came back, I said, hey, no one else has come down. I have a gray jacket. It's one of the last 2 jackets you put back. Oh, you black people are always causing problems. And I said, hey, like, we're in a hip hop place. If it wasn't for us black people, you wouldn't have a job. And he said, look, you fucking nigger. You know you're gonna have some issues if you, and before he even got the S on the issues out, I had had 2 eye surgeries in 2014 and 15, cornea transplants. When a guy came from behind and hit me here, and when he hit me, he hit me, put me in a headlock, dragged me up the stairs, another guy pepper sprayed me and kicked me. But when the guy had hit me, it knocked the stitches out of my eyes and pushed the iris out of my eye. So I backed into a corner. A guy who we had met in the rock bar, Marcin, hi Marcin, he came over with his Tinder date. I was yelling help, so they came to me and I said, can you just can you call 112 emergency service? And can you also text my friend and let him know I'm not okay? He called 112 and he was speaking to the woman in Polish. And I tried to explain to her, I've had multiple eye surgery, something's not right with my left eye, because my right eye had started to clear up. She told me on the phone, no, we won't come for you. Just let it clear up naturally. And I said, it's not clearing up, I really need help. Nope, sorry, we're not gonna come. The girl that Marcine was with she had brought milk to me to try to cool my eyes off. And then she tried to take me back into the rock bar to wipe my face off. And the door guy said no, and that's when I lost it. And I just said, hey, fuck off, fuck all of you. And yeah, I lost it. I completely lost it, because here I am. I know something's now wrong with my eye. And my friend walked up, and he, I think, only saw me going off then. And he, now as I reflect upon it, I think he thought the actual issue happened there, and I got hit there. What he doesn't know is it happened back at Mundo. And so I told him, like, I need to go to the hospital. I need to go to the hospital. So he ordered an Uber and decided he wanted to go home to his house. And I was like, bro, like, we can't do that. And I'm screaming at him in the Uber at this point, like, I need a fucking hospital. So the Uber driver, who was from Belarus, put me out. And this is 3 or 4 in the morning, because I was screaming like, I have to go to the hospital. So put me out. In the middle of nowhere, my phone dies. My friend, yeah, he didn't get out. My friend did not get out. Yeah, there's no way to explain what it feels like when you know you're injured. The person you were visiting really doesn't help you. And it's between 3 or 4 in the morning. You already got hit in this place, and it's already known for being racist. And thank God for the person walking towards me, because they told me a hotel to go to. And when I went to the hotel, I think the girl saw I wasn't okay because my eye was leaking pretty bad. And she said, yeah, no problem, I charge it. And then once it was charged, I was able to get his address, and I ordered an Uber to get to his house. I had pissed my pants by then, and this was in December, so I think my body went into shock. And I just was in survival mode, like, just try to think rational, get to where you need to go. So when I got to his house, he had put my stuff outside. And he came down for one last go, like, let's have one last argument. And I said, bro, like, I don't have time for this. Like, I need to go to a hospital. If you're not gonna help me, then fuck you. I'm gonna take a Flixbus back to Berlin. I need to get somewhere where people act like they're civilized. I finally got home. I ate like a pig. I was really hungry. And then I said, okay, take a shower to try to get all the pepper spray off. And then I laid down and I just said, okay, maybe your eye, I was praying to God, it was wishful thinking. Maybe it's not as bad. It's just taking a little time to heal. So I slept for like 45 minutes, and when I got up, I did this. I had my TV on, and it felt like someone had a knife in my eye, twisting it. I called my doctor, my eye doctor, and she said, then you need to go to Charity. And that's when, that's when things changed. And once I was there was a young Turkish or Arab doctor. He came out to me. Hey, was ist los? Was passiert? You know what happened? And he looked in the eye with my light, with the light. And when he did my left eye, I grabbed his hand and I told him, don't, because this was a pain. The only thing I could imagine maybe is giving birth to another human. This was one of the worst pains I've ever felt in my life. And he said, you need to calm the hell down. He didn't say it like that, but he was like, you need to calm down. because I need to assess what's really going on. And then he pulled away and he said, when did you eat last? And I told him like hour and a half before, and he said, this is now an emergency situation. I can't promise you that you keep your eyesight, but I need to call the surgeon. And then he put me in a room with the nurse, and he would just come in, look at me, and walk out shaking his head. And then I text my mom and my grandma to just start praying. And this was the beginning of hell, 2 years of hell. The thing that kills me is 4 years later, we're still in court. And if I had hit anyone the way I was hit, or attacked a Polish person the way I was attacked, I'd be sitting in a jail cell there these last 4 years. And that's what kind of eats you up inside, you know. So I'm just waiting for them to dismiss it there. And believe me, and I say this to the camera, I'm coming for you at the EU Human Rights Commission court. So do it there.
How have you been able to feel like, maybe physically, you've told us, but emotionally and mentally?
Well, I mean, 2018 and 19 were a complete wash, I would say, in the sense of I was going to OPRA, and I was meeting with the guy there who was helping victims of racism, and he helped me so much. He helped me so much. I could just go and talk, and he said, you don't have to worry about how you say it, you know, how it comes out. Just talk. And then he connected me to my trauma therapist, who is a white German woman. Our first meeting, Blanca and I, she said, I know I'm a white woman, a white German woman, but this is a safe space where you can say whatever you need to say about white folks, whatever you need to say about. And she really created this space where for the next 2 years, and even today I still meet with her, but not as often, I was there 2 to 3 times a week. I wasn't okay. I can say that now, because looking back, I didn't realize how depressed I was. And I mean, having grown up in LA with racism, guns held to my head, you know, by the police, by the Pomona PD, Pomona Police Department, having been chased home here, having been hit in Russia, you know, things happen. And I think now that Black people, we're starting to share our stories and we're being heard, I think this is something that has to continue in the community, us sharing our stories and letting people know they are not alone, you know. And there are people, whether you want to go to therapy or not, there are other people who have had these experiences who are now talking about them. And we have to create these spaces where people can come and be heard and start to heal. It's time to break it down and let other Black people, people of color, know that there are places for your voices to be heard, and continue to create those safe spaces. Black Lives Matter, I think, for me, it was really hard to participate in the actual movement because everything was still too fresh for me. I went to one of the protests that were here, and it was beautiful to see that much support. But for every name that has been said, there's a million more names that haven't been said, and who have had experiences and who have been killed. And having gone through what I went through, it really triggered me. And I just went home sad, because how is it in this day and age that we're still looked at as not even second class, fourth, fifth, sixth class, shithole countries. You know, it just takes, I mean, especially in America, it just takes you making the wrong move in front of the officer for them to pull on that trigger. And I've been in this situation twice. Once in Laguna Beach, well, Irvine, near Irvine Spectrum, and once in Pomona, coming home from church when I was 15, and they had choppers and 5 squad cars.
At 15?
15, we were coming home from youth choir rehearsal. And we were listening to Kirk Franklin. He had just come out. We were dancing, going down Gary Ave in Pomona. And police cars came from nowhere, had us get out the car one by one, hands up, behind our back, lay down on the ground. I mean, guns drawn, helicopter with the light on us, everything you see in the movies. And people think this doesn't exist. But I mean, come on, what are you telling a 15-year-old? You know, I mean, of course, we know the United Snakes of America and how it operates. It was built on lies, and it continues to be the biggest lie ever, you know. I mean, here in Germany, when I first got here, my second week, when I moved, someone said, "Where are you from?" And I said, "The US." Make sure you tell people you're from the US and not Africa. It makes a difference in how you're treated. And I said, well, then I don't need those people in my life, right? I mean, what the hell is going on in this world? I told a German called me a nigger once, and I said, just remember, over 300,000 African American men came to save you guys from an Austrian. It's harsh, but it's the truth. So before you fix your lips to say what you want to say to me, think about your own history. What's so funny, I was in Italy, in Padua. I think it's right outside of Venice in the mainland. And we were going to try to see where Casanova was born. And we got in 2 streets, and I looked to the right. There was this African cafe, and I hadn't seen that many black people in a while. So I was really excited. I was like, okay, we're gonna go. They had like jollof rice and all that. I was like, yo, I was in heaven. And they said, white boy, where are you from? You see these laugh? They said, you are not from Africa, we know this. I said, yeah, I'm from LA. And they were like, okay, white boy. So it was quite, I mean, there are obviously these jokes that we have amongst each other. A lot of people understand this, and I've been privileged enough to go to Africa. There is something with being black and having American privilege too when you come to Europe or Asia. So I haven't been to South America, so I really can't say, but from what I've heard, it's the same. I think it's worldwide. And so, I mean, I do recognize it. And I think this is something, it's horrible because, I mean, what do you say? When someone says, oh, because you come from here, you know, okay, we'll give you more access to, you have more access to different resources and stuff like this. You know, the chasm of the Atlantic from where African Americans' histories start, you know, from, it's completely, it baffles me sometimes. It's sad, you know, 2022 and we don't have equal rights.